Welcome back for another video. In this video we're going to run through all the experts data for Game Week 7, including their transfer plans, captaincy, and there's a few wildcards active this week. Between them all, our participants have got 5 top 100 finishes, 51 top 1Ks and 326 top 10Ks, so make sure you subscribe to help guide your season with this experts data. So Alex has held on to the top spot among the experts, another big green arrow for him after scoring 97, and he's inside the top 1K now and aiming for back-to-back top 1K finishes. Well done if you're able to beat the experts' average score, which was 74 last week. Lots of transfer activity this week. 5% have got their wildcard active, only 18% are rolling, 51% are spending 1 transfer, 24% are making 2, and a couple of managers are spending 3 transfers. In terms of hits, 13% are taking a -4 this week. The latest from Arteta is that Saka hasn't trained with the squad yet. We should know before the deadline if he's trained later on Friday, or at the very least if he's travelled. If he's out, then a -4 is certainly justified for someone like Son given the upcoming fixtures. Let's have a look at the top players they're bringing into their teams and selling for Game Week 7. So Morris is their top transfer in, 28% of the experts bringing him in for the double game week. On the one hand, it is a double game week, so he should be good for a minimum of 4 points, but on the other hand, Luton are 16th for XG this season, and he's amassed 0.94 non-penalty XG, so essentially he's not taken enough quality shots to have been expected to score even once this season. It's a move that perhaps makes more sense if you've still got your wildcard in your pocket, but he's a very fair punt. Trippier is the second top transfer with 19% buying him. Realistically, his 18-pointer might have been his top score this season, but they are home to Burnley, so more good fixtures to come, and therefore he is worth buying regardless. He was also rested midweek in the League Cup with Livramento playing in right back for that one. If we pull up the projected clean sheets for Game Week 7 to 12, Newcastle were just barely behind Man City in second. If you can't afford Trippier, then Botman and Schär both great picks. Botman is currently flagged, Burn reportedly ill. Perhaps Burn is the 4th best Newcastle defender given the illness, and he does have Target and Hall for competition. House said they'll give every chance for both Wilson and Botman to be fit for Game Week 7. Bowen's been picked up by 11% this week, flying under the radar at 7.1 mil and 11% ownership. Came across a nice graphic from FPL Radar here which shows his percentile data comparison, and he's in the 100th percentile for XG. In other words, every midfielder in the league is below him for non-penalty XG this season. 4 goals and 1 assist so far, and he's got Sheffield United home next. You might also be wondering about Ward-Prowse, who has been doing well with 2 goals and 3 assists himself. He's in the 89th percentile for XG, but 99th for BPS. As we know, he's an absolute machine for racking up BPS, and any game he returns in, he stands a good chance of taking bonus. In fact, he's 6th among all midfielders for BPS accrued, and he wasn't signed until Game Week 2, so he's 1 game behind the rest. 47% have sold Chilwell. He's a must sell now after consecutive benchings, and he's now injured after being subbed off midweek in the League Cup. 16% are selling Jackson, most of those are switching straight to Morris. So as we said, 5% have got their wildcards active this week. One manager has actually got his bench boost active, Gary Smith. I had a read into his gaming notes and he said, all the teams are starting to look the same, so I've planned for a bench boost. Just 16 extra points will get me to top in my mini leagues. The Burnley and Luton assets just need to play and I can leave them bench for the rest of the season. You always end up with 4 budgets on a bench boost anyway, so I'm getting it over with early to concentrate in the first 11. So we've got a couple of wildcard teams sending from the experts, good food for thought on which players to have in your thinking even if yours isn't active. Lucas has got Areola, Cash, Kabore, Botman, Madison, Diaby, Salah, Bowen, Saka, Morris and Haaland. Here's what he had to say. My initial plan was to play the wildcard 1 week later to attack the nice fixture swings of Liverpool, West Ham, Villa and Spurs. However, after another poor game week I needed to sell some underperforming players like Chilwell and Eze. Morris as a 1 week punt is a chance worth taking in my position. To get Bowen also for Game Week 7 feels nice. I wanted to get Salah as well. I think he will keep delivering, and even with his price tag I'm happy with the rest of the team. Midfield looks strong, many good options to choose from, and with 2 mil in the bank I plan to sell Morris in the next game week for Alvarez or possibly Darwin as a nice differential. Only concerns now are the yellow flag players. We'll keep monitoring the situation. Son or a Man United mid might come in if we have any more news by the deadline. The other wildcard active is Big 4 FPL, and he has a few differences in his team. He's got Raya in goal, Kabore, Walker and Botman. He did note that Walker is going to be buyer by the deadline. He's holding in case of a price rise. He's got Saka, Madison, Gordon, Salah, Morris, Alvarez and Haaland as a front 3. Here's what he had to say. I got off to a strong start, being up at 59k after Game Week 5, but after Game Week 6 dropped to 216k. Although the decision isn't a knee-jerk on rank, I think it was an early sign of the fixture swings impacting my team. As a result, the key players I wanted to bring in or out on a wildcard was Salah in, Sterling and Chilwell out, and Morris for the double game week, with money in the bank to get Watkins afterwards. My team structure revolves around 8 attackers in order to avoid injuries or benching causing headaches. For example, if Maddison or Saka are truly out this weekend, then Mbeumo's still there, and he'll also play most weeks in my case over Gordon. Ultimately, the decision was based on getting Salah as a surefire asset, as opposed to risking the inconsistency of Son, Rashford and Sterling, etc. Thanks gents, and good luck on the wildcards. On to Experts captaincy then. Some are taking the double gaming opportunity and captaining Morris, just 8% going for it though, while 92% are sticking with Haaland. They're basically dead even on reviews projections this week, 0.2 difference is negligible, and it's not enough to say definitively that X is better than Y. That's essentially noise, so in that case your own intuition is necessary. Given Morris's low ownership, it is a big opportunity if it comes off this week. Onto the Experts team reveal for Game Week 7. This is the aggregated team from their highest owned players, and the team for Game Week 7 looks like this. It's Pickford in goal, Kabore, Botman and Cash in defence. Cash joins the team this week. Saka, Rashford, Fernandes, Maddison and Mbeumo midfield, Haaland and Alvarez up top. So a few flags in the team, none necessarily ruled out for Game Week 7 though. A solid bench in the Experts team if any were to miss out this week. Despite Morris being the most transferred in, not enough change in ownership because Alvarez is that massive 89%. In terms of where the team's heading, one of Rashford, Bruno and Saka likely to drop out in Game Week 8 in favour of Son, ahead of back-to-back games against Luton and then Fulham. Many are eyeing up a Game Week 8, 9 or 10 wildcard, so the team could see a shake-up, but it's well set up this week. As poor as Pickford's been, Luton home's a great fixture with very good clean sheet potential. Not the week to be selling him, and to be fair he's also got Bournemouth home in Game Week 8. As always, we ask the Experts for any tips and insight for the game week ahead. Kake's the manager top of the Experts League, and he says, "This week is a weird one, with most players being a whole given the massive fixture swing next week for the likes of Spurs and Villa. Don't be afraid to roll instead of going for a 1 week punt on a double game weeker from a bad team." Adam Dennett says, "Might have to be the first -4 hit of the season, depending on Saka and Maddison news. As a Burnley fan, I need to resist the heart over head urge to bring Amdouni in." TomTom says, "Hard to remember a season with so many great options, particularly in midfield. Puts so much pressure on your team to perform. And Mbeumo, Sterling and Rashford on paper have a great next 2 or 3 games, but owners such as myself will be getting itchy trigger fingers with so many other good midfielders around." Aaron Morley says, "I've always been a believer in double game weeks, and I've even brought in Morris, but honestly Luton and Burnley might be the worst double game week in FPL history. I'm not getting my hopes up." FPL Cholo says, "Wildcard active because I have plenty of flag players, no Son or Salah or Trippier, and I've started my season poorly. Team dependent for sure, but I'm excited to start, hopefully seeing green arrows." And lastly, FPL Sparky says, "For a nanosecond I thought about putting the armband on Morris, and then slapped myself in the face and put it on Haaland." Thanks for watching everyone, hit subscribe if this was helpful. This game week I'm going to be in Ireland for an FPL meetup, so no deadline stream. However, I will be on FPL Air's deadline stream if you want to join us. Good luck all.